I'm sorry, Hawks did what? Now before we dive into Hawks, and believe me, there's a lot to talk about there, I want to mention this one scene where Hawks is actually assessing Shigaraki's power and his resources. He's absolutely blown away by how much he has. But if you think about it, it makes sense. Shigaraki needs resources to build the Paranormal Liberation Front. And to bring you guys these videos, I also need resources. So that's why I've partnered with Manga Life to bring you this chapter review. Manga Life app is a free manga reader that offers over 25,000 titles to choose from. So whether you like heroes saving the world or scientists rebuilding the world, there's a manga out there for you. I myself am currently reading and really enjoying the Dr. Stone manga, especially with its full screen and high-res page display. Manga Life is only available for Android in the Google Play Store. If you want to check it out, just search Manga Life app in Google. And when you're ready to download the app, be sure to use my personal link down below in the description so that I can start feasting on sushi like the League of Villains, and you can start enjoying premium HD crystal clear manga at your fingertips. As always guys, thanks for the support, and let's get on with the video. What's up? It's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. Boku no Hero Academia chapter 240 of the manga, the conclusion of the villain arc. But not before we get to see some interesting twists and just how much power Shigaraki now commands. Obviously a lot to talk about. The Deka City events, the new Paranormal Liberation Front, as well as asking the question, what the heck is Hawks doing in the middle of all this? Let's dive in. Now before having you guys comment on Hawks, I want to touch upon Deka City. It's painfully obvious. It's pretty apparent from the eyewitness reports and the panel of skeptic video editing faster than I do that our new villain group has falsified the reports to trick Hero Society into thinking that this is some random attack, that the League of Villains weren't even there, and as for Redestro, he was just a law-abiding CEO caught in the crossfire. This is awesome, because even though they lost, the Liberation Army still achieved part of their goal, or one of their goals. They wanted the world to see that unrestricted usage of quirks and special abilities was the way to go, and the world did see this, or at least they were tricked into seeing it. Oh no, the poor, helpless citizens of Deka City, how valiant they were in defending themselves against these 20 horrible criminals. Perfect cover for the Liberation Army, for the League of Villains, everyone involved. Although, I'm kinda wondering, how do you hide Gigantomachia? I guess, take that video clip and delete. I like that Horikoshi is incorporating this element of fake news and propaganda. Destroying Hero Society, from the eyes of Shigaraki, has always been as much about killing All Might and heroes as it has been about weakening people's perceptions of the laws regarding quirks and society's views. And this does a great job in undermining the public's confidence in heroes. Like it said, all the pro-heroes were tricked into leaving Deka City by these criminals to go chase down false leads of organized crime. I can't do this anymore. We can't rely on heroes to protect ourselves. We have to take matters into our own hands. We have to use our quirks and our special abilities, no matter what the law says, to defend ourselves. At this point, I'm wondering how Class 1A is perceiving this. Denki was watching the Weather Channel, so I assume they're now watching the news. Probably a lot of them are thinking, yeah, there should have been more heroes there. Deku's probably crying, but I wonder if a few of them are rather skeptical. What do you guys think? Comment below. We break from the news to see the League of Villains feasting on sushi. Also, this is the last time we can call the League of Villains the League of Villains. So like their meal, I'ma savor it. I love the humor here. We have Twice setting up a little memorial and mourning over this Toga clone. There's Dabi who doesn't like fish, and apparently Toga buys the most expensive coats in the world. And on top of all this, Twice's personality just keeps getting more messed up. But what about the personality and psychology of Redestro? He seems a little crazy in these panels as he's introducing Shigaraki as the new supreme leader. Like he's almost too excited. And when Shigaraki says just get lost and go away, he does exactly that with enthusiasm. I'm with the politician here. I don't want to see him like this. As for Shigaraki, and like Hawk says, the leader of the Paranormal Liberation Front, he has the power that rivals the heroes and Hero Society itself. He has an army with a singular purpose, a company with resources, control over all communications, and indeed, plenty more of those high-end Nomu. Two things to talk about before we finally discuss Hawks and Dr. Ujiko, as those will actually tie in together. One, Giten, our mysterious snow jacket person, is a girl. So, yeah, that was unexpected, but I guess my Natsuo Todoroki theory is out the window. Two is, Shigaraki's still wearing one of the hands. Now, he took it off when he was giving the speech, but he quickly put it back on. And my question is, why? I thought he was done with hands, especially his father's hand that he wore on his face, because it held him back from using his quirk. But what do you guys think? Is Shigaraki still clinging to the past by wearing one of these hands? Or is it simply just a mask and decoration? Okay, now let's talk about Hawks. And we start our discussion with Shigaraki. He's finally made Gigantomachia obey him, and as promised, he'll get help and power from Dr. Ujiko. That is, if he delivers one thing. The last time we saw Hawks, and thought he may have killed Best Jeanist, he was transporting something in a duffel bag to the League of Villains. And now, our suspicions have been confirmed. It is indeed the pro-hero Best Jeanist body inside the bag. This to me is what the Doctor wanted delivered to him. He wants to see if he can use the DNA from a pro-hero, and someone with an incredibly powerful quirk, to aid Shigaraki in his plans. What if Dr. Ujiko plans to use Best Jeanist's quirk and infuse it in the DNA of the high-end Nomu? This way, they can stop any hero that wears clothing. Which is all of them. Dang, where's Mirio when you need him? But seriously, with this ability, the high-end Nomu would be pretty unstoppable. It'll also be really interesting to see if they do in fact use Best Jeanist's quirk, since All For One explicitly told him, your quirk isn't necessary for Shigaraki. Perhaps now, the student knows better than his master, and Shigaraki will use the Nomu after all to subdue every hero out there with just their clothing fibers. Hawks is having these thoughts as Redestro and Shigaraki are up on stage giving their speeches. He's saying, man, if only I captured the League of Villains when I had the chance. So many more citizens would have survived. Perhaps even Deka City would still be standing. But he also says, whether or not the League of Villains are the real deal, the fact is, I killed a man. Unbelievable. Undeniable proof that Hawks has killed the pro-hero Best Jeanist. But my question is, what is his plan here? What does he think he's going to do from here on out? At the end of the chapter, Hawks notes that he has to quickly find the one who's sponsoring the League of Villains from behind the shadows. And if he doesn't, it might not be a town or a city that's in trouble. It might be all of Japan. I like this part because it shows us how naive Hawks is. He thinks that he's just gonna find out who's really sponsoring and who's really behind the League of Villains, go report back to Endeavor, the two of them and maybe a couple backup heroes will go in, apprehend the League of Villains, and that'll be that. They'll go out for some udon after. That's not going to happen. And it makes sense for Hawks to know this, or think this way. He's only 20 or 21 years old, but I really think that Hero Society, including Endeavor, really underestimates what they're up against. Hawks is in way over his head already with the whole double agent thing, but it's surprising to me that no other heroes know just how much the villains are planning. The other thing is, Hawks killed a man. It doesn't matter how many people he could save in the future by doing this, even if it was the entirety of Japan. That's not his call to make. As they say in Avengers, we don't trade lives, Captain. Hawks crossed the line when he took a life, when he even dared harm a professional hero. Some people were kind of confused as to what side he was on with the whole double agent thing, but at this point, it doesn't even matter if he joins Dabi in the League of Villains or if he goes back to report to Endeavor. He is a villain for doing this alone. He's officially crossed that line into villainy. But what do you guys think? Is Hawks officially a villain now because of his actions? And is he redeemable? Comment below. Also, Hawks and Dabi look like best buds, so he should probably just live as a villain and get used to their lifestyle. If you're leaving me, plus ultra to you. But if not, stay for my discussion on Best Jeanist. There's a possibility that this is all an elaborate setup and he's still alive. Conspiracy time. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your tinfoil hats on. We gotta get down to these My Hero Academia conspiracies. Deku's a villain, Kirishima's the traitor. Friggin', they're turning the friggin' Tsuyu Asui's gay.
Chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
And above all, Best Jeanist is still alive. Don't you get it? It's all an elaborate plan. They're trying to make you see what they want you to see. They're trying to get in your head, man. No. As much as I'd like to honestly entertain the idea of Best Jeanist being alive and this being some elaborate plan between him and Hawks and Endeavor to catch the League of Villains red-handed, it just doesn't make sense to me. But let's talk about why I actually think Best Jeanist is truly dead and how this works between certain characters and the League of Villains, and of course Endeavor with Hero Society. Now, do I think they could be faking it? I used to, until the League of Villains got so much power. See, before, that would be a great thing to do, right? Put Best Jeanist in a body bag, he's already injured from a fight, and then he wakes up and apprehends Shigaraki just by snapping his fingers and tying his clothes together. And then you have Endeavor there and Hawks there, very talented people, and they apprehend the League of Villains. Lickety split, no problem, they go out, have a nice udon dinner. But this was before Shigaraki had the Liberation Army, had Gigantomachia, had Redestro's company to make support devices, had Skeptic's company to control communication and basically the media. This is before he had any real power. He was attacking the USJ and other places, but it wasn't, city-dominating events. And it wasn't the power that could take over a country. And if right now Best Jeanist is faking it, then him and Hawks are in way over their heads, because they can't apprehend all those people. It also doesn't make sense from Hawks' perspective. Now, it would be a cool twist to see Best Jeanist pop out of there, but Hawks is a character that never really wanted to be a hero. He was a talented kid who saved people, and he just wants to relax. But he will do anything to achieve those goals. He just wants to, sit back, crack a cold one after work. And, Hawks, cheers to that. But he's the type of character that has this duplicitous nature. He's already a double agent, and if we can put a character in My Hero Academia that wants to ends justify the means, when a single hero's life could save the entire country, people can get behind that as a tragic story. Hawks ultimately, I think, and you can check my video here about it, will go down as a villain in the same way that Icarus went down. He flew too close to the sun, and that's what Hawks is doing right now. He's in over his head, and he doesn't know, especially now, how he's going to stop the League of Villains with all the resources, and how he's honestly going to save Japan. Dabi is an interesting character to look at because he is the one in the League of Villains that is the most aloof. If Hawks is kind of aloof in Hero Society and kind of rogue, kind of not anti-hero, but kind of not all about it, Dabi is that one for the League of Villains. Now, no one has to like sushi. I personally know Japanese people that don't actually like sushi, but you could be a little more enthusiastic about your victory dinner. And he's always wandering off and getting new members, but he never seems to find anyone that matches his criteria. So if anyone was to kind of be rogue in the League of Villains and leave them, or I guess, the new, Paranormal Liberation Front, it would be Dabi. But this gives an opportunity for them to switch places. As Hawks, a top hero, and Dabi, a low-life villain, they could have a nice chiasmus where they change positions. Hawks takes a fall from grace like Icarus does into the ocean, and Dabi, who we all expect to be a son of Todoroki, rises up and actually maybe aids the hero side because he heals relationships with Endeavor and gets his life together. Now, obviously that takes a lot of chapters to flesh out, but that's the current state I see those two characters if there's movement like that. So Hawks not killing Best Jeanist and not getting his hands bloody and marred by this sacrifice to save people, it doesn't make sense for Hawks' character. I think it's absolutely necessary that Hawks actually killed Best Jeanist. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this theory and this conspiracy surrounding Best Jeanist. Also, let me know in the comments below, is Hawks truly a villain now because of his actions? Or can he even be considered a hero by being this double agent, but yet he kills professional heroes to execute his plan? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys like these My Hero Academia chapter reviews and My Hero Academia content, be sure to enroll at UA today by clicking the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so you're never late for class. And until next time, plus ultra.
石やつ四角い空ここのの好き